Welcome into New Orleans Saints Now. I'm your host, Trace Girard. And before we get into our show, jam-packed show, Sean Payton destinations, rumors, all sorts of fun stuff. Go down, type, roll wave. Shout out Tulane. Big win in the Cotton Bowl. Hey, making New Orleans proud. One of these football teams is going to be good. Thank you, Tulane. Shout out you guys. But hey, let's get into the nitty-gritty of today's show. Sean Payton destinations. Dov Kleiman tweeted this out yesterday saying, sources say the Saints are expected to ask for a first-round pick for the rights of head coach Sean Payton, according to Adam Schefter. So just to kind of set the scene, here's kind of how the thing looks. The trade outlook is as follows. The Saints have no first-round draft pick. They traded away their first-round draft pick to move up and go select Chris Olave. Every single time we talk about this, I will live and die by the statement. It was 100% worth the pick. Sean Payton. He has hinted at returning to coaching, and he will likely be the top head coaching candidate for the coaching carousel. He's mentioned bringing Vic Fangio in as a DC. There's been a lot of buzz around him returning to the NFL. It's a very realistic possibility, to be 100% honest. And New Orleans wants a first-round pick, but honestly, I would expect a lot more. Just because the report is they're asking for a first-round pick, that doesn't mean that's all they're asking for. They could be asking for a lot more. And by the way, guys, before we get started into more of the diving in and into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the show, I want you to go down, subscribe, lock us in. This is the number one spot to stay in the know for all things New Orleans Saints. For all things Sean Payton rumors. We're going to keep you in the know. I do videos from home. I do videos from in the studio. I'm a Saints fan, lifelong, and I will always be black and gold. So if you want Saints videos for Saints fans, by a Saints fan, go down, lock us in, subscribe today. All right, so like I said, the first-round pick could be a part of the trade, but it's a bigger trade package. The thing about it is, I don't think that the Saints are going to settle for just one pick. If you look at the head coaching trades over the last 25 years, Belichick from the Jets to the Patriots for a first, a fourth, and a seventh-round pick. Gruden, which we've talked a lot about on the show, from the Raiders to the Buccaneers for 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and $8 million cash. Holmgren from the Packers to the Seahawks for a second-round pick. Don't expect that. Parcells from the Patriots to the Jets for a first, second, and a fourth. I think if you're looking at all 4 of these trades, you should expect something more in the Belichick or Gruden trade area. I don't necessarily think you're going to get 2 firsts and 2 seconds in cash. I honestly wouldn't expect that at all. But 1 first, a couple seconds, maybe even a first and a fourth. I don't know. That is a little bit more realistic. I think 2 to 3 picks is fair to ask for Sean Payton. I mean, he's one of the greatest offensive minds in modern coaching right now. So he wants to come back and play. You're telling me you wouldn't want that? Adam Schefter did have this to say on Sean Payton. He says, the Saints believe Payton, who went 152 and 89 in 16 seasons with New Orleans and led the Saints to the only Super Bowl championship in franchise history, is worth what other great coaches have been valued at that and then some. So I want you to put on your GM hat. Go be Mickey Loomis for me. What would you ask for in a Sean Payton trade? Would you ask for multiple picks? Would you ask for some cash on top of it? Let me know. Go down, take advantage of the YouTube ad break, and let me know what would you ask for in a Sean Payton trade? All right, so we're going to go through some Sean Payton destinations, and this is in no particular order. I'm not saying that this is the rankings of where I think Sean Payton will go. This is just 5 destinations I could see Sean Payton realistically going to. The first one, Indianapolis Colts. They fired their coach earlier in the season. They're running with Jeff Saturday. Recent reports saying they are going to consider Jeff Saturday for their head coaching job next in the offseason when they're doing their full coaching search. The Colts currently have the number 5 overall pick, and this is where it gets weird. I think it's tough to give up a top 5 overall pick. It's hard to part ways with that because you can get an absolute game changer and a day 1 starter in the top 5. And there's some quality talent. The Colts, they need help, and this is a great draft for them to do that. I think it could be hard for them to part ways, but they're going to be doing a full coaching carousel. They fired their head coach earlier this season. So I would at least check them out and keep the eyes open on Indianapolis. Next one, Denver. This one's kind of interesting. You guys might be thinking, well, what could they give up? They don't have any picks. They had the Deshaun Watson, or they had the Russell Wilson trade. Actually, they have a first-round pick at number 29 overall from San Francisco. They have a first-round pick that they can give up. They also have second-round picks that you can get. So in later round picks, you can go get their first-round pick, go get some extra draft compensation, and go get some later-round guys. The Saints have had good success drafting later-round players. So I don't think that it's something that you shoot for. But that being said, that number 29 overall pick, it's pretty nice. It's not in a bad spot at all, I would say. But it could go higher. It could raise up. The defense in Denver is pretty solid, I will say. The offense is just terrible, though. It's an absolute joke. And the Broncos have had interest in Sean Payton, but is the interest one-sided? I think it is, because if you ask me, would you really want to go try to save Russell Wilson? I wouldn't. I think that if I'm Sean Payton, I want to go somewhere where the team is built. I just have to come in, put my mind to work, and put my playbook in order and make things happen. I think this is just a one-sided interest. I wouldn't expect Payton to go to the Bucs, but we also said don't expect Russell Wilson to get traded. We also said a bunch of other things. So it could happen. It probably won't. But if you want the Saints to go get a big haul, if you want Mickey Loomis to get some draft picks back, fleece another team, get something good, go down, hit the thumbs up icon on this video. If we can get 500 likes, I promise you the Saints will get a nice haul. So go down, hit the thumbs up icon. Don't argue with it. It's science. Just make it happen. Next one, the Los Angeles Chargers. And for me, this is my personal favorite. And the Chargers, right now, they have the 25th overall pick. They did make the playoffs for the first time in a few years. Brandon Staley, not sure if he's going to stick around if they're on a first round out. If they lose in the first round of the AFC playoffs, I could see the Chargers wanting to part ways. It's an interesting option because I think the Chargers, for me, would be my personal choice. If I could go to any team right now, I would want to go to the Chargers. They're young. They have talent. And the biggest appeal, Justin Herbert. You have Justin Herbert, who, say what you want. He's a Twitter quarterback. He's this, he's that, he's blah, blah. Here's the thing. The kid's got a cannon. The kid has a phenomenal arm. He has a very high football IQ, and he's young. If I'm Sean Payton, that is exactly what I'm looking for. So if Sean Payton were to return to coaching, my pick would probably be the Chargers. The other one that I could see a sneaky one if they lose in the first round of the playoffs as well, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, they've been linked to Sean Payton for, it feels like the better part of 10, 15 years at this point. It seems like every other year we're talking about Sean Payton to Dallas. But before we give you some more information on why I think Sean Payton to Dallas could make sense, I want you guys to go down. If you guys didn't get what you wanted for the holidays, if you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas, if your girlfriend didn't hook it up like you thought she would, and you want to go get yourself a Saints jersey, go to chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. We got Chris Olave, Trevor Penning, Tyrann Mathieu, all sorts of names, all sorts of players. You can get any of them right now. It's chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. The link will be in the comment section and in the description of this video. Go get yourself some gear and rep the black and gold. All right, Payton to Dallas. Could it happen? The Cowboys currently have the number 28 overall pick. It's an interesting spot. It's not a bad spot, similar to the Chargers. It's kind of higher up there in the draft. It could theoretically raise because they're in the playoff picture right now. I don't know if they will make it happen. If Dallas does go on a run, I don't know why they would want to part ways with Mike McCarthy. You're finally getting some playoff success for a team that hasn't done anything in the postseason, in my lifetime at least, and I'm 24 years old. So it's one of those things. Do you think that Dallas will finally get to link up with Sean Payton? This could be the last chance that Dallas has to go get Sean Payton. So if the Cowboys lose in the first round, I would fully expect Jerry Jones to send the cavalry. We already saw what they did trying to go get Odell Beckham Jr. We saw them send players, tweeting him out, taking him to basketball games, doing all sorts of crazy stuff just to try and get a free agent wide receiver who is hurt to Dallas. Expect the absolute just masses to come if Sean Payton is available if the Cowboys lose in the first round and they have the prime draft compensation to give up for it. I wouldn't be surprised. Jerry Jones is a big Sean Payton guy, so keep your eyes out for that. They're always going to be in the back pocket, so we have to mention them. Real quick, though, we call it the Who Dat Nation for a reason. It's not the Who Dat City of New Orleans. It's not the Who Dat State of Louisiana. It's the Who Dat Nation because this fan base is worldwide. It's nationwide. This is one of the best fan bases in all of sports. So let me know. Rep your hometown. Shout out your city. Where are you repping the black and gold? Where are you rocking out to some Saints gear? Where are you repping your team? Let me know. Shout out your city down below right now. And finally, the last team that I think Sean Payton could go to is the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals currently, similarly to the Colts, have a top 5 overall pick. They have the number 4 overall pick. And how funny is it that, the Saints lost to them earlier in the season in prime time? That was just, thanks, Andy, for those 2 pick sixes. Point being, Arizona's a dumpster fire right now. The same situation of Indianapolis, I don't know if they want to move on from a number 5 or a top 5 pick. Same kind of thing here applies to Arizona. They're a dumpster fire. Their team is hurt. Cliff Kingsbury sucks. They just have been riddled with injuries. They've been riddled with just bad gameplay, bad play calling. And just take a second. Think about this. Do you really want to have to babysit Kyler Murray? I mean, I have said this before. Kyler Murray's a toddler. You have to tell him he can't play video games during the season. I don't know anyone in a professional atmosphere that you tell, hey man, your work is slacking. You need to put down the video games. Put the Xbox down. Throw your PlayStation in the closet for a few weeks and lock in and make something happen here. That's not anything you ever had to do for, I've never. See, Producer Steves, have you? No, I haven't either. Do you want to have to babysit Kyler Murray and deal with the childish behavior that he gives? I know it sounds like I'm ragging on him, and I kind of am. He's a very talented player. Do not deny that at all. He's a very unique football player and a very unique and special talent. That being said, it's not worth it. It just ain't worth it for me. And so I want to round out the show with this. Where do you think that Sean Payton will coach in 2023? If he makes his return to coaching, you could also say the Saints are an option. They haven't been ruled out. He has said that he'd be interested in coming back. So if you think the Saints could be a team that he returns to, go down and type the Saints. But otherwise, let me know. Where do you think Sean Payton will coach in 2023? Who Dat Nation, I appreciate every one of y'all for sticking around and watching this video. Thank you for tuning in no matter where you are, where you're watching from. Y'all stay golden. I'll catch you next time.